Hello everybody, welcome back to those who've been hanging with me some time, and welcome to those who are new to my channel. I'm Adele Levine, intuitive and medium. Okay, so let's get to the point. I want to do a video on aliens, UFOs, and some of the juicy stuff in between. I wanted to do this video before the Pentagon went ahead and announced what they did, but perfect timing. And if you are not aware, the Pentagon went ahead and announced that aliens and UFOs are, I don't know if I want to say they're real, because I don't want to misquote, but they are confirming. Now, if you follow my channel, I have put some stuff out on interdimensional beings, the Watchers. I do believe in beings in another realm. And I guess that's what I want to discuss. I am someone who has seen one UFO, which was a black triangle, and I discussed this on another video that was later confirmed by someone I met in a very strange way in the Air Force, who said to me that this was man-made, even though it was hovering, made no sound, and shot off faster than I've ever seen anything. Which I kind of believed because, I don't know, because of how metallic it was, you know, meaning like how material it was. It wasn't unique in the look to me, other than how it hovered, which is pretty unique. Now, I'm not the expert on UFOs. I'm not an expert on anything in this area. I am a medium and intuitive, and I can do remote viewing and different kinds of things that I feel are connected to that realm. And I've also had experiences with that realm. Also, I've had, you know, telepathic communication that I use in the spirit world. And so I do have a strong belief that the spirit world and that realm are connected. So that gets us into the debate between flying saucers and interdimensional, right? Flying saucers and beings that kind of are maybe from another dimension and plane. Now, I feel that the connection between, when you ever hear, like, there's a lot of psychics and people who do what I do, claim to have seen and heard things, is because there is a frequency. I do believe in a frequency that these beings operate on. I also believe that the telepathic communication isn't always in hand with people who are, quote, gifted or psychic or whatever. Now, my personal experience and what I believe is that, from talking to those who have passed and talking to the spirit world and have seen some pretty unique, interesting things, I've had some pretty unique, interesting experiences, that I do believe there's a realm, almost like a tear, that goes between this world and that world. And I do happen to believe that it's the same realm that the spirit world exists with beings like this. Now, people see UFOs and things flying in the sky, or have seen interesting things everywhere between orbs that move to actual physical, you know, craft. And I do get the sense, or not just a sense, but what I've come to know, is that these are two different worlds, two different camps. And my experience is more doing kind of more in the camp of, you know, interdimensional. However, does that mean that I believe there aren't actual physical beings that can live in a certain planet and things like this? Absolutely, I believe that. I think it would be silly and egotistical to believe we're the only living beings in the universe. Okay. I want to correlate why I'm saying this. So, for instance, this isn't just a plug, but it is to mention that I'm doing a class this Saturday on astral projection, which showing people how to astral project, if you want to check that out. But the important part of that is, if we are able to remove our spirit, which astral projection is just having your spirit body travel around, to me, this atmosphere, the earth atmosphere. So you go to the moon, and you can go to different houses, and you can travel without the body. If this is something we think we can master and do, which many of us have done, then why wouldn't it be the case that maybe at some point we can master and do the same physically, meaning our bodies being able to travel through time and space? I feel that the most important part here is the belief of no time and space, that we can surpass it. Now, these type of beings might have found a way to create a craft that is able to do that, or you can believe that they can do this without it. I believe both can exist. I only don't talk about the actual physical crafts because it's just not the majority of my experience. However, the time I did see this experience of the triangle and how fast it moved and how crazily it hovered was pretty extraordinary. However, the experience was kind of interesting because it was over a busy street and nobody detected it, nobody looked up, and that was odd. And when I pulled off to take a picture, it was gone. So I do feel like that mentality is more in our range. That's how I felt at the time, almost like we were being tested. It didn't feel like what I have felt from interdimensional beings, which is trying to communicate, bring messages, and trying to awaken and things like this, and kind of unusual things happening that are not the need of physical, meaning like they don't need to use physical, like electronics and things like that, to communicate. What I'm saying is what I saw felt like almost like, let's see if we can actually hover over a city and no one notices. That feels much more man-made or man mentality. My personal experience with these types of beings in the way I personally have had, which is a little bit more of a push for evolvement. Now, I know there's people who have commented and said things like, not all are friendly, some are meaning ill will, some are trying to experiment, and I understand that, and I respectfully get that everyone has a unique understanding. I'm only speaking from my own. And I feel like the two worlds of other dimensions, other realms, and crossing that sound barrier, so to speak, right? Crossing through one realm to the next. You either can master that through something physical, meaning technology, meaning a craft, or maybe it's something we learn to do without. Now, the reason why I say this, because as someone who remotes view as I do, where I'm able to remote view, sit in my chair and see through time and space and see someone's house and see a place and all this type of stuff, I believe that if you dedicated a lifetime, and I don't even know if I could get it in a lifetime, seriously, I don't, that maybe there's a way we can do the same physically. However, if you look at how technology complements our understanding, meaning the internet and virtual reality, and at some point will evolve even higher in our advancement, we are using a physical aspect to do something that expands our consciousness and our understanding, evolvement and growth, progression. So I do feel that this is what those type of beings show us. When we were at some point where we were using rocks and sticks, and now we're here and I'm in front of a camera talking to people all across the globe, people I don't know, I haven't met, all across the globe are being able to see me if they choose. That's progression, that's evolvement. So I feel that part of the fear that comes with accepting this is a lot of it has to do with some belief system, core belief systems are challenged, and some of it has to do with the fact that maybe our expansion of what we know and understand would also be challenged. So I feel like this is an exciting time and a scary time, which I understand, because it's pushing us to try and expand Is it true that maybe we are built for something more? Is it true that time isn't linear as we think it to be? Is it true that maybe we do exist in more than one dimension? I don't know if that's true for sure, but I do know that I've seen and I've experienced that there are doorways that lead us through time and space, that we can walk through them, or little tears, and I do believe that. So we are still evolving and learning and growing and understanding of what that means. But if we limit our thinking to only a very, one-dimensional thinking, meaning we are born and we do this and we go to work and then we die and this is our only thinking, how are we going to ever really truly get to know? So I feel that these little steps of leaking things out, which have already been known, I don't feel like it's more about what's secretive, what's being hidden, whereas it's up to us if we're ready to progress and ready to see. You don't have to wait for there to be a confirmation from a certain group for you to have your own experience. Like everything I believe, I can't convince someone there's life after death. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to convince people either that telepathic communication happens. I do this in my readings with mediumship. I can't convince people about remote viewing. Again, I do this in my readings as well. However, when it comes to what I do, I just do what I do and people can take it or leave it. But when it comes to your own personal path of where do you want to expand your understanding about time, space, aliens, UFOs, dimensions and portals and all of that stuff, and life after death, psychics, all of it, you need to kind of allow yourself to go on the journey, and you need to decide for yourself what resonates and what doesn't, as I always say. So I just wanted to do a quick little video because I hid this for a long time, that this is something I'm definitely interested in. And by the way, it wasn't something I sought out. It is something that started to come to me, and I started to see the more I expand myself to other realms, which is why I don't feel they're separated. Meaning when I was doing mediumship or doing readings or trying to see the world within the world, I absolutely believe there's a world within this world. And you just got to lift up the matrix to see it. Thank you guys so much. Like I always want to say, follow yourself, follow no one. Before I sign off, just want to let you know, like always, for while this is going on and while we're going through this hard time, I'm offering 50% off of all my readings, unlimited amount of time. It's not a sales pitch, it's just a reminder for those who are, because I'm getting a lot of new people who are finding me, and I just want people to know that. And also, again, if you want to join this online class, which I do if you're new to me quite often, but this is going to be an astral projection class. I'm going to take you on a journey, but we're going to astral project. I'm going to show you how to safely and not feel scared, how to fly, how to allow yourself, and that includes a lot of sleep paralysis that tends to happen. I'm going to explain all that in the class that tends to go with astral projection. If you want to learn more about what I think about that, I have a video on it. Thank you guys so much. I hope this made sense to you. This will probably be one of a few videos that I'm going to do like this. Believe it or not, I get more flack for these type of videos than I do for any other type of video I do, which I find interesting, very interesting. So that's okay. I'm okay with it. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to this inner voice. You're built with the answers inside of you, and I'll see you soon.